everybody and welcome to this new video. So since it's the new year and I noticed that a lot of people want to start bullet journaling or have at some point and just didn't keep it up, I wanted to make this video and just show you some tips and tricks on how to get started and how to get a bullet journal that actually works for you. So yeah, first of all, I'm showing you my current bullet journal that I set up with you here on YouTube and that I'm currently using. I haven't used a real planner since 2017, that's when I started my first bullet journal, and I haven't looked back since, and I think that bullet journals are really amazing and a lot better than like real planners. So let's get right into the first thing. So let's talk about the general construction of a bullet journal. Either you don't know anything about it or you already know this, but a bullet journal usually consists out of a key, an index, some sort of future log, a monthly log, a weekly log, and some people also do daily logs. So on the left hand side you can see a key. I did my very first bullet journal, and then you can see a typical like future log and some other pages that I had in a different bullet journal, and here you can see a typical monthly overview and a weekly overview. I never really do daily logs, but some people do. So first things first, the key. The key is basically a page where you just summarize all the different symbols you're going to use into your bullet journal that will help you just stay organized and that you already know what is going to be there. So for example, a circle could mean a task, a triangle could mean an event, etc., etc. So that you just know based on the symbol what is the thing that you wrote next to it. I personally ever just used a key in my first bullet journal ever, and then I didn't really use it anymore because I just have memorized all of my different symbols that I'm using. The next thing is an index, which a lot of people use, but I personally have to say I ever used it once and I didn't even fill out all the pages because I personally have to say I find them very unnecessary, because I mostly know where I can find stuff, and if you're a beginner I would also recommend not using it because it's just a task more that you have to keep up with. Now for the future log, I personally have to say I think a future log is like the most important thing you need in a bullet journal because you are mostly going to plan month by month, and so you just need a space where you can write out like exams or birthdays and stuff so that you have a place where you can just write throughout the year everything down, and then when you're coming to plan a different month you just know what you have to include. There are a lot of different styles of future logs out there, but the one I prefer, and this is my current bullet journal, is the one where I have just everything on 2 pages. I just have the perfect overview, and I also would say for beginners that would be perfect so you don't have to set up as many pages. A different thing that I want to mention is that there are also pages where you just have a yearly overview over the complete year, and I personally never did that because I found them very, very unnecessary, and I think especially for beginners, a lot of beginners feel like they have to do all these pages, but I personally have to say that I think that's completely useless because you will rarely ever look at a completely yearly overview, and it will just make you more work to do when you're setting up a completely new bullet journal. So I personally would say just leave that completely behind. Now let's get over to the next topic. How do I make my bullet journal work? For everyone freshly starting out or just having a problem with keeping it up, I would first of all say try to keep it minimal. So I know my bullet journals aren't the best example for minimalism, but one thing that I changed and it really helped me was that for my first bullet journal I changed up these like very big calendars that I never used up to small ones. Because this way it's just less work you have to do and it just works as efficient as a big one. My second tip would to be just do what really works for you. And to explain a little bit better what I mean with that, I'm showing you different approaches of me throughout the years of habit trackers. Right here you can see like the one you will see all over the internet where you just have a habit tracker for the whole month with all your different habits, and as you can see I never really finished them. A different approach for habit tracker you can see here where you just have it more like separated into your different habits, and there's a different style and maybe that will work better for you. Again, you can see I really didn't use that either, but I know it can be really frustrating if you set up all these beautiful trackers and you just don't use them. But a little trick that I can tell you is that for trackers, I personally really like to implement them into my weekly spreads. because this way, if I'm not using it, I can just try it again next week and can start all over again, and I'm just not looking at a completely unfinished habit tracker and I'm like, I don't know, and I just won't keep up with it for the whole month. So this way I can try again every week. Now to address some fears of you. What if I'm not good at hand lettering? What will I do? I can't bullet journal. That is something I hear a lot online, and it's just not true at all. Here you can see a weekly spread where my main lettering was no real lettering, it was just capital letters, no hand lettering at all, so you don't have to be good at lettering to start a bullet journal. A different thing a lot of people say is that they're just not good at art and they can't doodle, so a bullet journal would just not make sense at all. And again, you're wrong. Here you can see again my first ever bullet journal, and do you notice something? I actually didn't really doodle that much at that time. I did some little doodles around some stuff, but I never really draw it like I do today. So a basic thing that a lot of people online do is just print out pictures and inspire you. This way you also have like a little mood board. And it's very easy and it makes your bullet journal very pretty, so you don't have to be good at doodling. Like right here you can see, even the heading of the weekend is not lettered, it's just printed out. Most stickers and quotes are also just stuff that I downloaded and then printed out and just stick into my bullet journal, and that's something that I can tell you is so easy and will help you when you're just beginning. So yeah, just to show you that on the weekly spread that I already showed, there is a big doodle of me and I love that one, but you could just imagine there could be a cute little picture that is from the internet and just inspires. And here my bullet journal from 2019, and again, mostly pictures. So yeah, right here I want to take a moment just to show you where I just personally find my pictures on. So I personally go to wehearted.com or to Pinterest, but mostly WeHearted. And there you can just find beautiful, aesthetically pleasing pictures that can inspire you or be matching for your theme of the month. And you can choose between so many beautiful pictures on there. So I would just basically copy and paste them into Word and then print them out. WeHearted has, besides a search function, also a channels function, so you can filter through all of the different pictures. For example, there's a whole channel just for pictures of Ariana Grande. I love it. And for stickers of your bullet journal, you can as easily just print them out. You don't have to buy some expensive ones. Just go to Pinterest and search for stickers, and you can find so many different ones you can just print out and stick into your bullet journal. I did that. I would still do if I would use stickers, but I love that, and I love that it is completely free. You can use it and you don't have to pay anything besides the paper you're printing on, but you know what I mean. The next thing I want to address is how to keep going. That's a problem I hear a lot of online, and that a lot of people just don't know how to set up the bullet journal. So what I say is that you have to make it a habit. I personally like to sit down on a Sunday and just set up my next weekly spread or my whole new month for the next month, and I just sit down, put on some Netflix series and just watch and create while doing this. And I have to say, it is really, really relaxing. You're just watching your TV show you would maybe watch anyways on a Sunday and just like drawing, doodling, setting it up, and it's really, really chill and I like it a lot. And now, what do I do if I make a mistake while setting up my bullet journal? So please don't panic if that happens. The first thing I can say is you just have to sometimes to go with the flow, because some mistakes make a spread more beautiful than it was before. For example, as I was setting up my Gossip Girl themed month in June, I firstly just made like in the middle the whole thing black and drawed the skyline. And I just tried while doing it to do the whole page black, and as I was doing it I was asking myself, oh, was that a mistake? Was it right to do? Should I have stick with it as it was? But in the end, I personally think it made this page so much more beautiful and it looks a lot better than it did before. But if you come across a mistake that just you can't keep it, like misspelling a word or something, then just cover it up. For example, here you can see my heading of October, and I misspelled October and so I had to take a piece of paper and stick that onto the page, and I think you even barely see that, just if you look closely at it. But if you look from over the top, a little bit from the distance, you don't even notice it, and it's still a beautiful cover page. And there are different ways you can cover up your mistakes. For example, on this page, also for my Gossip Girl month, I doodled something that I didn't really like that much. I tried to do woman eyes and I thought they just looked so ugly, so I just took some washi tape. And honestly, that wasn't my best cover-up work, but I mean, it works kinda, and you don't really see it if you just see the whole page. It's barely noticeable, so I think it's still a pretty good job I did. So you can see there are different ways to cover up small mistakes on a page. But what do you do if you screwed the whole page? Don't worry, been there, done that. And so I just took some washi tape, sticked it over the complete page, and then I just took a separate blank page and just sticked it into my bullet journal and made another list, another page out of it. So yeah, that's a different approach you could use to fix up a page that didn't turn out as you wanted. So to sum it up, all you really need to fix your mistakes, if you're not going with them, you just need a piece of paper, a scissor and some glue. And some optional thing is you could also buy a white gel pen. That is something that saved me a lot of times, and it's just pretty if you do like small mistakes, like lettered something small wrong or something, and so that can be pretty practical but completely optional. You don't really need them. Now these were the basic, but what can you add into a bullet journal? Which like different spreads could you use to make your life better? So there are a lot of things. For example, you could just add some study trackers into weekly spreads, a food log where you just track down what you're eating, a workout log where you just track when you did something and how much calories you burn and stuff. You can also add like food logs where you just write down what you want to eat when. And something that I find really cute but you don't have to do is a monthly review where you just write down like where was good, where was not so good and stuff like that. Also you can do goal pages, bucket lists, song lists and lists for daily routines and stuff, so you can add so much into a bullet journal. What you also can add are to-buy lists, some lists for memories, or a list where you just track what books you read, how long they were, stuff like that, or gift ideas from family members. And these are just like some ideas. There are so much more on the internet. I would just recommend you go out there and look what suits you best. And now off to a very big problem. What if my spreads are empty? First I have to say, even people who bullet journal for years have this problem, like me. For example, you can here see a spread that I loved so much and it was completely empty because I didn't use it at all, and I just filled it up with a song text. So this is something you can do if it really bothers you and you love this spread. You can just sit down, listen to some music and write down what you're hearing. But I don't really do that often. That's just if it's one spread that you love a lot. Usually I would just say, leave it like that. If the spread is empty, then it is empty, and that's nothing bad, or it doesn't really have to demotivate you, because that's just what bullet journaling is. If it doesn't work, then it doesn't work, and so it is okay if there are empty spreads, and I have to work on that too, to feel okay with that, but it is completely okay, and just don't give it up. Like, keep trying, and you have to accept yourself, accept mistakes, and it is life. Just try it out and try to keep it up. It will give you a lot. I personally love my bullet journal, and that's all I can say. Just start. Don't compare too much to others, and yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I would be very happy to see you next week, because from now on, every single Sunday will come a new video. So yeah, have a nice day and bye!